Welcome to Inside the Ring, boxing's official show of record. I'm your host, Max Kellerman, and joining me, former heavyweight contender and world-class trainer, Malik Scott. To my left, a man who lost a lot of money betting on Anthony Joshua to knock out Jake Paul in the first 4 rounds, which seemed like a pretty good bet at the time. Yeah. Ring Magazine senior insider Mike Coppinger. Yeah, how much did you lose? Never mind.
He dragged me into the bull crap.
He dragged me.
We both lost money.
Who do you think dragged who?
You know, I don't even like
It was
him,
Shady. It was Shady.
Yeah,
You think I would bet on Anthony Joshua?
I wanted to go straight KO. Shady goes, let's go with the first 4 rounds.
Two mics left. The man who dragged Coppinger into that bet, obviously. All-decade NFL running back and boxing superfan Shady McCoy.
Bro,
It is.
I would drag him.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua?
To an AJ bet? I can't see
not to an AJ bet, to betting in general, though. No, actually, you two are both kind of degenerates, to tell you the truth. It's time for the lead hook. And yes, we start with Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, which is now available to watch globally on Netflix, by the way. Jake Paul got in the ring with a former heavyweight champion Friday. He lasted until the 6th round before getting his face caved in. Literally, you can see the x-rays of his jaw online. Jake did not beat the count after absorbing the right hand that broke his jaw, and AJ got the KO. Guys, let me come out and say the story to me coming out of this fight is Jake Paul. This dude is a maniac in the best sense of the word. And I'm not going to try and hear any Jake Paul slander today on the show. Guys,
Nope.
He got in the ring with a former Olympic gold medalist and heavyweight champion of the world who's 37, he's not like 45 years old. He's still fighting, guys. Dubois knocked him out. He was in that fight with Dubois. He was a top heavyweight.
Yes.
Yeah, Usyk beating him a couple times. Usyk, one of the all-time great fighters, and those were competitive fights.
Yes.
That Anthony Joshua. Jake Paul gave up enormous size, experience, talent, everything. And guys, let me tell you something. If all of us right now, you've been retired how many years?
10, 12.
10 years?
Like that, yes.
I don't think combined, including you, Malik, we get into the 6th round with Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua is coming to hurt you, which he was, and Jake Paul was tackling his legs. He was trying to use takedowns. He was exhausted.
Yes.
He was running. Yeah! Are you joking? No kidding.
Yes.
He's trying not to get killed.
Yes.
And by the way, I know it was a lot like William Skull and Canelo Alvarez, where Skull was kind of outlanding Canelo upstairs, but there was nothing on the shots. But the fact is, actually, Jake Paul landed more clean punches to the head than Anthony Joshua did before the end of the fight. What he did was amazing.
Yes.
And guys, he also did something else by taking this fight. What Jake did was retroactively justify fighting a guy like Tank Davis, or even trying to make that fight. Because what Jake is demonstrating here is, okay, everybody, you're accusing me of having to fight an ancient Mike Tyson, or a tiny Tank Davis, or an old MMA fighter. I'm really thinking about how to make a global event that people are interested in, that captures your imagination. Watch this. I'll put myself on the short side of that.
Yes.
I'll get in and fight. It's not about who's bigger, who's smaller, who's older, who's younger. It's about what is a compelling event. By the way, whether or not you agree with that, I don't 100% agree with that way of thinking, but that's his way of thinking. He did it again. And I got to take my hat off to him. I was amazed that he was able to get into the 6th round with Anthony Joshua.
Yes, I was very impressed.
We watched this fight all together, us three. And say what you want about Jake Paul. If you can't commend him for the way he fought Anthony Joshua, you are a hater.
Yeah.
For
Pure
example,
hater.
when Jake Paul came into boxing, he came in as an entertainer. He was fighting ex-football players, ex-basketball players, all these different people. And he always had the advantage in his favor. Cool. So to make the people, I guess, happy about it, I'm going to fight a heavyweight champion.
Yep.
Okay? I didn't believe he was going to do it. I still didn't believe he was going to do it until he said, ding, ding, ding. He gets in the ring, and I don't care what you say, he made Anthony Joshua miss by a mile, throwing wild hooks. He was missing. He was running. For you to be so experienced, Anthony Joshua, I didn't see you setting him no punches, cutting the ring off, none of that. If Jake Paul does not get tired, I think he finishes the fight.
I don't think he finishes. Part of the reason he's getting tired is Anthony Joshua was hitting him in the arm of the body.
All I'm saying is that he ran well enough for me. And another thing is, you talk about the clean shots. If you really watch the fight,
Jake Paul ain't landed
Jake Paul landed more cleaner shots than Anthony Joshua.
It was like
they
a
was really
version
like,
of
get
William.
off of me shots, get away from me
But
type
still,
of shots.
they
But
were
still,
yes.
the last thing, Jake Paul is not a professional boxer.
We
He's
can't
not.
keep saying that.
He's
no,
not.
Jake
Though.
Paul
He's
is
barely.
legitimate professional boxer.
What I'm saying
he
is,
legitimately
but
can fight.
I'm talking about the
And another thing, he can legitimately become cruiserweight champion as long as he don't fight Zito Ramirez. I'm very impressed with Jake Paul. Yes, Shady, I went there, baby.
Too far.
Yeah,
Yes.
come on, man. Come on,
Come on, Mike.
You did good though.
Listen, Malik's a loyal guy. You got to give him that. Zerto trains in the gym with Malik a lot.
Yes.
Malik is a loyal man. Look, Max said it. You have to give Jake Paul a ton of credit. We were all mocking him for fighting Gervonta Davis, and deservedly so. And yes, he ran around the ring, but he hit Joshua with a pretty big overhand right. He had a game plan, right, guys? He knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to tire Joshua out, it seems.
He had no chance to win that fight.
No
like the
chance.
idea that he's being criticized, Mike, for he had zero chance to beat Anthony Joshua, but he gave it his best shot.
And I will say, I came out of that fight, and people may disagree, I came out of that fight impressed with Jake and disappointed in Joshua.
Yes.
I was very disappointed in Joshua's performance.
Shady. We know how you feel. I was not that
I was disappointed with AJ.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to know why, Max. Like why?
Because
as far as technically saying how he looked, why?
I think that AJ had a lot of pressure on him because this is the reason. Like, your imagination can can run away from you, you know.
Yeah.
And while he's thinking about this fight, I imagine has to be in the back of his mind. Could you imagine if I got hit with something stupid and lost to Jake Paul? So that fear is there about that. And so there were times where Jake was throwing a roundhouse right hand, where Anthony Joshua would normally, you just step in with a quick left hook, you pop him with a jab, and he was so intent early in the fight in not getting caught with something stupid, he wasn't countering naturally like he might otherwise.
He's in with a 216-pound guy that's a professional boxer that was putting his head down saying, I'm throwing this thing no matter what. And let's give some credit to Jake Paul feint game. A man keep fainting at you is going to make you stop. So he have to have some know-how. He has great trainers in his corner. He's doing everything professional fighters do. And he went against Anthony Joshua. We're saying everything about Anthony Joshua, former heavyweight champ, this, that, and the third. He didn't fight Usyk, a smaller heavyweight. He fought probably the biggest and most imposing heavyweight in the division, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, by the way, I got to say something else about Jake.
Because it's different if he fought like a smaller guy.
Before we move on to AJ, I got to say something else about Jake. He talked about how you use fear before the fight. You know, you could use it to try to achieve great things. Yeah. What Jake shows people is a big imagination. And Shakur Stevens said this about Teofimo Lopez. He said he's deluded in the best way, right? Jake Paul is not allowing the ideas of others to affect what he thinks he can do.
Big facts.
He's not allowing reality to affect what he thinks he can do. He's not putting limitations on himself. He lives in his own delusion. And it's there are novels written about this, right? Don Quixote, or there's something about it. And there's a great novel that I read in the last 5 or 6 years called Stoner. Not about that. It's about a college professor who it's really about how an average person can be a hero, right? Now, Jake is more than an average person. He's a big athlete. He's played high school football, but he didn't play college football. He's not a pro player. He picked up boxing as an adult, and he's an inspiration in the sense that he's become a global phenomenon.
He has.
From a guy pranking people and doing stupid stuff online to entering the realest sport there is, where you risk your life, which he did against AJ. Look at his face. Look at his jaw.
And he wasn't spooked, Shady.
And he
all
did
that
it.
moving he was doing, it was like he was looking scary.
It's like an example to see how far you can go in the world. Just if you live in your own imagination, you're willing to put in the work.
I think it's that too, Max, but also I think it's the work you put in, right? You can be delusional when you put the work that you believe in.
Sure.
And if you watch Jake Paul from the beginning to now, he has got better and better and better. And then another thing is, like, we keep forgetting that he's supposed to fight Gervonta Davis, and that happened fast.
Gervonta wouldn't have stopped him.
But hold on. And now you fighting Anthony Joshua?
Yes.
Like, so now you
And
go
also,
from
don't forget, that was an exhibition, too. That would have been...
But I'm saying, like, the game plan to fight a guy that's 5'5" has to change drastically to fight a 6'6" heavyweight champ. Like, give him credit for that, too.
And by choice, Shady.
But the problem with you I'm having with right now, Max, and you let him off the hook, Anthony Joshua to be a heavyweight champion, the way y'all talk about it,
Shady's right.
he looked terrible.
I have to say,
and when
Shady's
Tyson
right.
Fury puts his hands on him, I can't wait.
Shady's right this time. I give Shady a lot of crap on the show about Joshua. I was disappointed. That wasn't
embarrassing.
I don't think
he
so.
He couldn't cut off the ring. So. Right? That's concerning.
No feints.
I understand it's a bigger ring, right? It's 22 by 22. No feints. He's right. And I've seen a lot of people on social media saying Joshua went easy on him. I don't think so.
No,
I think
I don't
Joshua
think
was
so.
trying.
Look at Jake's face. You think he went easy?
I don't think he went easy.
He would have left the broken jaw out.
That's as dumb as the people who show you like Mike Tyson throwing the right hand that he stopped saying Mike was not trying to hurt Jake Paul.
Right.
When in fact, all boxing fans who know what they're looking at were very grateful that Jake didn't hurt Mike in that fight, right?
I agree.
AJ is a different story. This is what I would say about AJ's performance. There was supposed to maybe be another fight between now and the Tyson Fury fight as a tune-up. Were I advising AJ, I would cancel that fight. No fights.
Immediately.
No more fights until because
there's no telling what happened type of thing.
There's no telling.
Yeah, you're right, Max. And I want to say, again, when I say I'm disappointed in Joshua, he might just be past it. You know, this was his first fight in 15 months. He's 15 months older, right? He's now 36.
What signs are you seeing, Mike, to make you think he is possibly shot?
Would you like to hear from AJ first?
Yeah,
I'd
love to hear from AJ first.
Let's hear from AJ.
Let's hear from AJ.
Look, it wasn't the best performance. It wasn't the best. The end goal was to get Jake Paul, pin him down, and hurt him. That has been the request leading up, and that was on my mind. It took a bit longer than expected.
Okay, what do you think? He admits it.
He knows. He's not
knows
smart. He's an honest guy.
Yeah, he is an honest guy.
Joshua was not throwing a combination to answer Malik's question. I didn't see him feinting, setting up his shots, really. He just seemed to be headhunt, kind of like following him around.
And he's known as a good combination puncher to be a heavyweight. He wasn't doing that. But I give all that credit to Jake Paul.
Sure, I give Jake a lot of credit.
There are two things with Jake. One, his movement was very good, actually. Always just trying to survive. A lot of guys might try to survive. You don't get into it. But the second thing is, because Jake has been a puncher as a cruiserweight, he is a legitimate puncher. The specter of disaster for AJ by getting caught with something stupid kept him from doing some of the stuff you're talking about.
But let me ask you this, Max.
You don't think so, or you think so?
Yes.
How do we know that Joshua's just not past it, right? Because this was his first fight in 15 months. The last fight he had, he got knocked out in 5 by Dubois.
He's in his late 30s.
He just got
he's on the second half of his
than we
career.
even thought. We don't know yet.
No, but Mike and Shady is saying he's actually shot. I'm not saying he's not on the second half of his career.
It's over.
Look.
No, it is over though.
It might be.
You put him in there.
I don't know.
So right now, I'm being serious here though, and I'm not even trying to disrespect Anthony Joshua because he had a good career.
I know you know his career. Yeah.
Who was you after watching with Jake Paul? Like, who was you put him in the ring with? So he's about to go in there with Tyson Fury. We all know how that.
Logan Paul.
You know what I mean? Think about it.
You're basically
Moses. Like, I'm just thinking like, who fighter?
Don't put him in with Moses right now.
Worldly. What fighters? They gonna do him dirty.
AJ has had an excellent career. He has done credit to boxing.
That's right. Cash that check.
Not only that, but he has a big, good personality. He represents the sport well. He always came in shape. He got off the deck to knock out Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah.
He had that win against Parker. He won the title back from Ruiz. Yes, is he past it? Obviously, given just the chronology, given his age.
Being past your prime and being a shot
Yes,
fighter
two
is
different
two different
I agree.
things. Shady and Mike is making it seem like he's shot.
He
I'm
might
saying
be.
he's on the second half of his career.
You can't tell if he's shot or not because you can't see how he reacted to punches because
Every
he
punch
didn't
he
get
has got knocked out. If those same punches would have hit another heavyweight, they would have got him out of here. If Dubois would have hit anybody else with that right hand, they would have been gone.
Let me say this then. My man, Malik, I'm sorry. My terminology for boxing is a little different. You're a trainer, a top tier, so I'm sorry. He's not that good no more. Can I say that? Is that safe to say? He's not though. I watch Max and everybody loves Max, and I do too. I watch him think and claw for these words of praise. He beat Klitschko at 41 years old years ago.
Yeah.
He beat Joseph Parker before Joseph Parker was like, okay, he a real deal dude.
No, he was already a real dude. Yeah.
Okay.
Alexander Povetkin, another gold medalist.
Yo, listen. You can try all you want, but the truth is, his resume is just good. To throw Andy in there, I'm not going to do that with Andy. I like Andy, respect him, but he ain't nobody to be
I think
praising.
Vladimir Klitschko would have beaten any other heavyweight in the world that night.
Yeah, he was good that night.
I don't know. This is what I do know. Them days is over with, though. The 40, you ain't fighting nobody that's 41 years old that's going to give you, it's over. It's over.
But I will say, sometimes I think a fighter is shot, then he comes back and has an amazing performance. I just don't see it this time. I think he's in a world of hurt against Tyson Fury.
Well, I mean, look, this is the thing about...
What about you think about him and Deontay Wilder fighting?
I think Deontay's definitely.
Deontay puts him down.
Two-shot fighters.
The issue with boxing is we're trying to extrapolate. We're trying to draw a lot of information and draw conclusions from very small samples. A guy might fight once or twice a year.
Tough, yeah.
We do not know at this moment how much of that was, oh my God, Jake Paul managed to go 6 rounds
Is
almost,
Anthony Joshua
and how much
still
of
one
it
of the
is
best heavyweights in the
AJ?
world?
On decline.
It's tough.
Is he in the top 10
NBA
right
players,
now?
NBAs are
Heavyweights in the world. Anthony Joshua is he one of the best heavyweights in the
He's been left
world.
that though, Max.
I
He's
don't
been
know.
left
No,
that.
come on.
I don't know if he's top 10 right now.
I would say based on resume and what he's done recently,
Yes.
you put him in the top 10.
Yes.
Based on what he looked like against Jake Paul,
Put him in
I
the
would be
top 10.
curious to see what he looks like next time out to
I
see
don't
if
think
he
no
is top
heavyweight in
10.
the world
wait.
stopped Jake Paul in 3
Max.
rounds the other night if he fought like that.
Let's leave Jake Paul
Moses
out of it.
Atama knocks out Jake Paul within 1 minute.
Right. But wait,
Yeah, I agree.
let's leave Jake Paul out of it. What
Moses.
about this? After he got put down by the ball, and that was real bad. That was real filthy how he did him.
Yeah.
You telling me you still got him as an elite top heavyweight champion
Who
right
said
now?
elite
No one said
top
elite.
heavyweight champion, but a top 10 heavyweight?
Yeah, not
you
that.
could
So you
argue.
say resume though, like Moses don't have the resume,
No,
but you'll bet your last dollar and your paycheck on the ring that
I don't bet fights.
if you did bet, if you did
Like
bet
you
fights-
guys, how you guys feeling
But-
betting the fights now?
But talking about you would make sure that Moses he cleans that clock, correct?
You want to talk
Not
about
in 2
Jake Paul?
rounds.
Of course.
Not in 2
Of course.
rounds.
Well, Max, you made a great
That
point.
is
Though,
so
to get back to it.
crazy.
You were talking about how we don't know because of the sample size. You're right. You watch an NFL season, the guy has 17 games. You say, all right, this guy's shot. This guy's past it. NBA, same thing, right? 82 games.
Baseball, 162 games.
You know
what's
you
what.
know when
Yeah.
these guys are past it. In boxing, we're kind of extrapolating and speculating, but it seems like Joshua might be
Oh,
finished.
Josh was clearly past it. The question is he
How
totally
much?
shot or is he just on the back
Right.
9?
We don't know.
Jake Paul showed a lot of guts,
Yes.
He did.
obviously. And after the fight, this is what he had to say about his future.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're gonna heal the broken jaw, come back and fight people my weight, go for the cruiserweight world title.
How do you not love him?
Come on.
No question. I mean, the fact that he would fight for a cruiserweight world title, he's fought. Now, he has had 3 real professional fights against guys around his size.
Chavez.
One of them was I'm not even talking about Chavez because he was old and came back. I mean, guys who are active fighters. He lost to Tommy Fury,
yeah,
and then he
size.
beat 2 guys in Florida in smaller
small
events.
boxes,
But
yeah.
they were active fighters with winning records, okay? So on those 3 cruiserweight fights, he wants a cruiserweight title shot. Now, he'll get it if he wants it because he means a lot of money.
Money up.
Do you think he's ready to fight for a cruiserweight title, Malik?
In 4 or 5 fights, yes, I do.
Right, he needs another 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4 or
but the
5.
danger is he, just like with AJ, he could lose in one of those 4 or 5 fights. If
I don't
derails
think
it.
so. I don't think so because the matchmaking, they've been doing a great job at that. The first chance he took was against Anthony
man.
Joshua, and look how he
Nuts.
did.
Hold on, man.
Shady, he did
hold on.
incredible.
By the way, when
he
that
did
fight
incredible.
ended, he was conscious.
Yes.
He got his,
Yeah.
like the dude has so
Yeah.
much heart.
He
He's
was so
on the
happy
floor
that he had a broken
with a
jaw.
broken
Shady?
jaw, and he's like, "Whoa!" He was just happy to be a part of it.
And I was happy
Yeah.
that I was happy for him because I had a lot of doubt and he earned my respect.
Yes.
I'm a Jake Paul fan for
Yes.
sure. But let's just slow it down, fellas. Put the timeout, 30-second timeout. Who you gonna put him in there with? You said contending for a cruiser. Who you gonna
Yeah,
put?
who you
Who's the cruiserweight that just beat Badu Jack?
Yeah.
Noel McCallion.
Okay, give Jake Paul 4 or 5 more fights.
I think
and I'm
4 or
saying you
5,
give
and I
him
think
a
if you're going to do
run
4 or
for
5,
By the way, I don't disagree with that.
I think what you have to do right is get him ready for that. He has
Wait
to
till
be
you see
fighting
him, Shady.
like
You'll see. You'll
maybe
see.
washed up cruiserweights, right? Get him ready for that.
I'm
Like
good with
former
that.
champions.
Yeah, I'm good with
But
that.
Shady, even you being
Fight
good with that
Kabu,
is a
maybe.
lot. It's Jake
Right,
Paul.
well,
We're talking about him fighting real cruiserweight with real
I just-
records
I
and beating
just-
him.
Can he beat his
Listen,
Oricos?
if I go back to Tony Danza,
No, I know
right?
what you're
The actor Tony
That was so
Danza
good, Mike.
was once a middleweight fighter. He wasn't a contender. He had almost as many losses as wins, but he was a real puncher with his right hand. He fought on a Muhammad Ali undercard. If Tony Danza would have been fighting in an era of 4 belts, right? I don't consider any of those real belts, but other people do. Of 4 belts with Ring Magazine, which is the belt,
probably
you could
could've
even
got a
argue
title.
5. If he was managed just right and he was already a star, maybe.
Tony could have
who
got a
knows?
yes.
Who knows?
Yes.
On the right night, you land a big punch. Who knows?
You know what? I was listening to Andre Ward, and he was speaking about Jake Paul, and he was talking about like the conditioning part. He said when you're a young fighter that started from 8 to 9 years old, you learn the way
Relax.
to,
I know what you're talking about. He did.
Right.
That's
He was
true.
too up.
Yeah, they're being relaxed and they're being in conditioning. Where I think like now it's so late in the game, you honestly think that he go
It's
out there-
not even. It's more relaxation than conditioning.
Yes.
James
tough
Toney.
to learn.
James
Prime
Toney
example. I know where
could
you're going,
roll
Max.
out of bed.
Literally.
Not having
Yes.
done road work, nothing, and
Smoke
fight
3
20
cigars
rounds,
and get in there and go.
20 rounds against
Yes.
because he's so relaxed. And then other guys like Oscar De La Hoya could
Mosley.
be in dog shape. But
Mosley,
Oscar was
jittery.
fighting with so much energy, he would gaslight sometimes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
it's just how it is. You can forgive Jake Paul for being on edge against Anthony freaking
He did
Joshua.
good. He did great,
Right,
though.
did good.
Coming
Yes.
up, Terence Bud Crawford announced his retirement.
The GOAT.
Where
Yes.
does he rank all time? This is Inside the Ring.
Bud?
Malik, will you school these boxing neophytes?
Shady going on the Ali.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. I'm Max Kellerman. Malik, Cop, Shady. After lots of speculation over who he'd fight next, Terence Bud Crawford announced his retirement last week.
The GOAT.
Leaving the sport
Yes.
on top. Here's part of the video announcement he posted to Twitter.
I'm stepping away from competition, not because I'm done fighting, but because I've won a different kind of battle. The one where you walk away on your own terms. This isn't goodbye. It's just the end of one fight and the beginning of another.
Guys, if Terence Crawford is permanently retired for real, then I want to say something about him right now. Unlike anyone else who has ever lived, if he never fights again, he is one, walking away on top. The only other guys who you could even argue walked away on top, meaning not just they went out winners, but they went out at the height of their powers, were Gene Tunney, Floyd Mayweather, Joe Calzaghe, and Andre Ward. Like Ricardo Lopez and Eder Joffrey and Lennox Lewis went out winners, but they were something less than they had been, okay? 2, if Bud Crawford walks away now for real, he's walking away as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. So that eliminates Calzaghe and Lopez from the list. I'm talking about the history of boxing, guys. 3, if Bud Crawford is retired for real, he's walking away as a guy who was never in any real danger of losing any professional fight he was ever in, through 5 weight classes, through 4 real Ring Magazine championships, one of only, in my opinion, 2, in some people's opinions, 3 fighters who's ever done that. And by the end of every fight he ever had, there was no doubt as to who the winner was. So that eliminates Gene Tunney, who lost to Harry Greb, Floyd Mayweather, who plenty of people think lost to Jose Luis Castillo, and Andre Ward, who a lot of people think lost to Kovalev. Now, is point 3 because of, through no fault of his own, Terence Crawford didn't fight the greatest competition of all time? Yes, I'd say that's probably true. But what he did is unprecedented. It has never been done before in the history of boxing. And he never ducked a single fighter along the way.
Jeez.
Comments?
Look, I think
Special with
the
that. Special.
2
There's no
points you
arguing
make,
with that.
Max, are great points. You're right. No one else can claim that. But on the 3rd point, Crawford's retirement, if it sticks, and this is no shot at Crawford, it's just that fighters, they do it for leverage, they want to come back, they miss it.
Money and all that,
But
yeah.
it reminds me a bit of Joe Calzaghe walking away. I feel like Crawford's just now getting the spotlight he deserves, and it leaves you wanting a little bit more.
Yeah.
He didn't fight Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis, and those are just names that we all would have favored him to beat that would have strengthened his resume and legacy.
He is, now I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like in a perfect world, and for me, Janibek doesn't get caught juicing,
Right, sure.
and Crawford beats him. He unifies the middleweight title, and Crawford beats him, and then he drops down to junior middleweight and fights the winner of Ortiz and Boots, right? And then he's the only actual sixth division, not I have a belt here about there, but the division in the history of boxing. The next closest guy only got 4, Pacquiao and arguably Mayweather. I would like that too. He is, however, 38. And it's not his fault that he was ducked ruthlessly throughout his career.
But it is his fault somewhat that he only fought once a year since 2019.
Yes, I agree.
Some of it's
that
not
would
his
have made
fault.
a difference, though. These guys still wouldn't have fought him back then. He wasn't worth the money.
You might be right about that, and I understand what you're saying. Eyeball test, Crawford's amazing. Switch hitter, fight going forward, fight going back.
But it was a time he was only fighting once a year.
Yeah. Floyd Mayweather, you could argue, in terms of boxing IQ, you can't get any higher than that.
Right.
I think Crawford matches that. I think Crawford gets to the highest level of boxing. Floyd was faster with a better defense. Okay?
Way better defense.
But he had his best,
But he got more offense.
But Crawford, when you think about a hypothetical matchup, Crawford is a big puncher with both hands, a switch hitter, and a vicious finisher. So even if Floyd, when you think about that matchup, is outboxing him for a lot of the fight, you imagine at some point he's matching IQs with him. He's going to catch him with something.
And Crawford is going to not allow that. Yes, he's going to challenge that. I can see.
And another thing is, I want to fight you at your best. I don't want to have no weight cause nothing. Canelo, bring your ass in here.
And that's something Floyd didn't do.
Right, and that matters. So
I'll give him that.
It's not a lot that you could say about Floyd Mayweather. He was so perfect. But the small things you can say, they're going to bring up that.
And those small things Floyd lacked at. To me, Crawford didn't lack that. Like, he wanted to fight a fighter.
Confident.
And they come with their A game. He didn't want to strain your weight so you could feel weaker fighting
Floyd did not want to fight certain guys.
Yes.
It doesn't mean he wouldn't have beat them.
And you just put him in hypothetical matchups. Can I see a scenario where Crawford beats Roberto Duran? They're both at their best. That fight could go either way.
Beats him.
But I don't know. That fight could go either way. But I could see Bud winning just like I could see Duran winning. Pernell Whitaker, same thing. Close fight, maybe Crawford wins because he knocks Pernell down, or maybe Crawford loses on point. Floyd Mayweather, same thing. Like Crawford, no matter who you put him in with in history, you go,
when I
Crawford
think you
might
neck
win
and
that
neck with
fight.
Pernell Whitaker, you're the real deal.
Man, the thing is, like, we haven't.
Sugar Ray Leonard. Oh, Leonard's so fast, he could hit, he could do this. But damn, Crawford is like Southpaws gave Sugar Ray problems, and Crawford's not backing down from anybody.
That's a good point. So when you make the argument, it's hard to even argue back.
No, look,
and I agree with everything you say. Only thing about Bud, I just love the most out of all them guys you're talking about is I've never seen him look like he's going to lose a fight. I've never seen it.
No.
So now when we talk about these great fighters, I'm like, you put Bud in there, he's going to figure it out.
And you've seen him look like that with guys that was challenging him.
Yeah.
Spence came challenging him. Like,
and
these guys came challenging. It didn't matter.
I don't care about this car accident. It was a great fighter, okay? And we talk how great he was. Until he got in the ring with Bud Crawford.
Yes.
And then after that fight, we don't even talk about Errol Spence the same. And the reason why is
because of what Crawford did.
Crawford did. You know how big that is?
He beat the legacy out of him.
He beat the legacy out of him.
Unbelievable. What's crazy is you can watch that fight and know one thing. Maybe the margin wouldn't have been as wide. On Errol Spence's best day, he had a 0% chance to beat Terence Crawford.
Zero.
Yes.
And Errol Spence was clearly the second best welterweight of the era.
Yes, he was.
He was, southpaw through a million punches.
Yes.
He could beat you on the jab. He could box. He could win a war of attrition. He could knock you out. He was a finisher. All right.
Bud did
So guys, I said to Crawford in the ring after the Canelo fight, I said, you're the GOAT of this era. So we all know GOAT, greatest of all time.
I'm not so sure about that.
What's that?
I'm not so sure.
Mike, you are alone on that island.
I'm not alone on that. I am not alone. I'm saying I'm not sure yet. The era is not over yet. Inoue and Usyk still have their say.
But Crawford stopped fighting, so his era is now over.
Right.
If he's
we still got to be fair.
And what if Usyk goes for 5 more years, let's say, and beats this guy and that guy and that guy?
At this moment, you go ask Usyk or Inoue, who's the best
They're
fighter?
They're going to say Crawford.
They
already said it.
Because they're honest and they know what they're looking at. Game recognized game. Okay, so my point is,
I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying let's see what they do.
I'm saying he is. Now,
he is.
So that's the goatee. You know the GOAT, the goatee. Greatest of the era. Okay?
Okay.
But is he an all-time great? Is he a GOAT? Is Terence Crawford one of the very greatest fighters of all time? Remember, boxing's history extends back into the 1800s. Like, there's so many weight divisions and
It's an
so
absurd
many
conversation.
great fighters.
It's an absurd conversation.
Will you
Absurd
stop
debate.
undermining this segment?
back.
You
Yeah.
just hold on. I'll call on you in a second.
Well, you know what he needs, Max?
Dude, he didn't put together a pound.
He needs a Snickers, man. He needs a Snickers.
I love
He needs a Snickers. He needs to be happy. He needs a Snickers,
He
dog. He needs a Snickers.
I'm gonna eat this
You
Snickers.
gotta eat. Give him a Snickers, man. He needs to cheer up a little bit. That's the Bud Crawford story. There you go. Now be happy now.
Malik, he brought a
There you go.
Snickers.
I
You're
see.
right.
There you go. There you go.
You needed a Snickers. You
need
need
that
that. See how
Snickers,
you
dog.
feel.
Wow.
Now look, free advertising. Now look, we're going to do our pound for pound lists of all time. There are not a lot of spots in the top 10. Consider this, everybody.
10 spots,
if
probably.
you're the, there are 8 classic divisions, but junior welterweight's been around on and off since the 1930s. There are junior divisions that have been around a long time at this point. So really, it's more like 12 or 13 divisions, maybe even 13 with a real history that goes back so many decades. If you're not the best fighter ever in your weight class, or one of the 2 or 3 best that then moved up and won multiple titles, it's pretty tough to break the top 10. There are only 10 slots.
Yes.
Let's take a look at Shady's top 10 pound for pound all time.
Check me out.
Yeah, let's
Check
go,
me out.
Shady.
Muhammad Ali 1.
Gotta be number
Roy
1.
Jones 2.
Yeah.
Roy Jones too. Wow.
I don't see any Sugar Ray Robinson on this list.
Yeah, hey, man.
So this is not of all time. This is of the fighters you've seen.
No, this is my all-time list, right?
thought, yes,
To be
that's right.
respectful, like,
Where's Sugar Ray Robinson?
He said his.
mine.
Have you ever? Are you aware of Sugar Ray Robinson?
I know he is, yeah, but Max, you talking about when TV was black and white, man? I'm being real with you.
That don't count as Shady,
Most
right.
of it, listen, I know one
When
thing.
Ray
Hey,
Robinson
I'm
was
sure.
fighting, when Joe Louis was
I'm sure
fighting.
on y'all list, y'all gonna have dudes that you can't even look them up on YouTube. You got
Right,
dudes
that's
that we don't even know what they even look like.
That's why it's
I'm not
absurd.
doing that.
That's why this is
But
absurd.
you can still do the research and know what's what. Like,
But you gonna Google a guy you never even really seen fight.
no, you've seen. By the way,
can't do
Sugar
that.
Ray Robinson. By the way,
I've seen
because
videos, I've
during
seen
the
it.
Second World War, they used a lot of film for the war effort. So a lot of those fights are gone. I've seen home movies of Sugar Ray Robinson, full fights.
Yeah.
I've seen.
No, Ray Robinson is up there, Shady.
Hold on, hold on,
You can
hold
go
on,
look at.
I'm
you
not
can go
saying
look-
he's not.
Hold on.
Yes.
Sugar Ray Robinson had 40 wins before he had a loss. When he lost, it was to Jake LaMotta,
Yeah.
who was the most avoided middleweight in the world. He did not move up to middleweight to fight LaMotta. He just got in the ring and gave up 15 pounds. He lost a close fight. He avenged it five times. He went 5-1. Hold on. That was his only loss through the first 130 fights of his career. What are you talking about?
Look what we saying though, bro. You telling about somebody that had 174 fights and was 174-19? You don't even see that no more. Was he fighting 50 times a year?
That is misleading because all of the losses, most of them, came after his prime. I just told you.
Yeah, but you
Before
still
his
got him in the
second
top 10,
loss,
man.
he was
You still got him in the top 10, Max.
Real quick. How old are you, Malik? How old are you?
25.
How old are you, Max? If you want to tell
52.
people. How old are you?
39.
Okay, I'm 30. He 39? Damn, you look old. Okay, I'm 37. Real quick. Bro, Henry Armstrong. What was he, 1930? What is he?
Okay, yeah. Henry Armstrong, but there's plenty of footage. By the way, there's plenty of footage of Henry Armstrong. Henry Armstrong, simultaneously, when there were only 8 titles in boxing, heavyweight, light heavy, middle, welter, light, feather, bantam, fly. That's it, right? Henry Armstrong held 3 of them at the same time. And he got ripped off for the middleweight title. He should have held
everybody on my list. You can watch and see. Them other guys, you got to Google them and look them all the way up.
So if it happened a long time ago, it doesn't count?
This is my list.
I'm talking for me. For me.
Yes.
Them old dudes
Okay.
is
So let's see your list.
TV
Malik.
the TV don't even work.
I mean,
Malik, this is even worse than his
This
list.
is terrible.
it's not. Lennox
How do
Lewis-
you-
I'm hating.
Hold on. Larry Holmes, I love Larry Holmes. That's the heavyweight
Number 2,
champion of
yes.
my youth. Larry Holmes had life and death with Kenny Norton to win the
who was Kenny Norton? Just a very, very top five of
Kenny
that.
Norton was a good fighter who gave boxers problems.
Yes.
Kenny Norton was not one ever. No one ever put Kenny Norton on a pound for pound list. He barely
I
beat
know, but
Norton
I'm beating
for
the
the
man
title.
that beat him on the pound for pound list.
Who?
Larry Holmes.
Number 2 all time?
Yeah, that's-
He's not, like, I love Larry Holmes, but
wow.
you'd have to put him top 5 heavyweight to
But
even
you don't have a
consider him for
problem with
top
me
10.
putting Pernell Whitaker number 3.
No, I think he's a little high, actually. I love Purnell. I wouldn't have him 3, but
Jersey
Joe Walcott.
Jersey
wait.
Joe. He got 20 losses.
I went with my personal. That was a
Yeah, so,
personal.
see, let me tell you what he did.
Come on,
let me
dog.
tell you what he did.
I
This is
went
what
personal
Malik
right
did.
there,
I
man.
can see it now.
Yes.
What Malik did was when
I
he
went tech.
admired someonene's technique.
I went tech, yes.
He put them on. Jersey Joe Walcott got
Well, I
ripped.
put Muhammad Ali last.
That's disrespectful.
Because he's really not. I would. you're going to hate this, and I love you're going to hate this. I would put Georgie Benton before Muhammad Ali.
Okay, they're not being serious. I love Georgie Benton.
He's not being serious, though.
It's not a serious segment.
Now, can I give you guys, by the way, Jersey
Mike,
Joe
you didn't
Walcott.
even pick us the list, Mike. Why didn't you get a list, Mike?
I'll explain why when I get to
come
me.
on.
Jersey Joe Walcott would do a lot of cute stuff that fighters try to imitate now. That's why he loves him.
Marciano thought it was
Larry
great.
Holmes.
He created the walkaway.
Larry Holmes
cute
has
stuff.
like an incredible jab.
Philly
That's
Shell
why
too,
you
right,
like
Malik?
Holmes there.
Yes,
Bro, he
and
got 20 losses. That's but
back then, though, it was different.
No, it wasn't. No, I mean,
Well, you know it was a little bit different.
Jersey Joe
back
Walcott
then.
got ripped off against Lewis in the first fight. He should have won. Lewis
Yes.
was old. He got knocked out in the rematch.
Marciano, yeah.
I need to know what you think about
Lewis.
real
Joe
quick,
Lewis.
my Bob Foster
Then he got
pick.
knocked out twice by
I need
Bob.
my Bob Foster pick. What's your thoughts on Bob Foster pick?
Bob Foster is the best
Light
puncher
heavy.
ever at light heavy.
Yeah,
I would
sure.
put
All
him.
time.
I would put him top 5 at light heavy. You could argue one, but I wouldn't. I'd say Ezra Charles probably the greatest light heavy ever. And I don't see Ezra
Would you
Charles
put
on this
Roy
list.
Jones over him at light heavyweight? Bob Foster.
Oof.
Absolutely not.
Well, the only
And
thing I
don't
would
care
say
what
is
Shady said.
Roy would never let him hit him with a left hook. He would just stay away
Lennox
from the left
Lewis is
hook.
number 1 of all time?
No, not pound for pound.
Come on, dude.
Yes.
This is being funny, man.
You have no
being funny.
criteria for this.
Yes, I do. Let's talk about character. Most fighters that go to the Olympics, when they lose, what they do, turn pro. It takes a very special, responsible young man to say, you know what? I got it wrong the first time. I'm going to wait 4 more years. Not only when I win it, I'm going to go and knock Riddick Bowe out and get it. America's favorite. Then what do we do? Turn pro, become heavyweight champion of the world. He's not perfect, he lose, but what do we do? He rematched the guy immediately that beat him. Came back and beat a crazy guy, Oliver McCall. Then he goes on this mean run after he get with Manuel Stewart, right? Then he get clips again because he's taking life for granted. Don't take a rematch. Don't take a rematch. Make Hasim Rahman follow the clause of the contract, gets back in the ring with Hasim Rahman, knocked him out cold.
That's a nice story. That's a nice story.
Yeah.
But none of that makes him the best. I love Lennox. Lennox is my dude.
No, I need to know
By
where
the
you
way,
got. No,
I traveled
I need to
the
know where you
world
got
with
him at. I need to know where you.
He's
What number?
He's not in his top 10, I bet.
He's in his top 10.
Lennox
Yes, he is.
Lewis is one of the greatest 5 heavyweights who
Of
ever
all
lived.
time.
I agree with
In
that.
But
your top
not
10?
one of the top 10 pound for
Oh,
pound.
come on, Lennox.
And Lennox, I traveled
Is he
the
in your
world
top
with the
20?
dude. I hung out with Lennox. We do
so was
broadcasts
Love.
together. I love him.
Lennox never rematched Vitaly Klitschko, who gave him hell.
What now? If that's the
Lennox
case,
would tell you he's not the best pound for pound fighter who ever lived.
he would say he one of them. I bet you.
He
will.
is one of them.
Okay,
He
cool.
is
That's
one
all
of
I'm
them.
saying. Top
Number
10.
Can I please give you guys
That should be a
The actual
fun. That should
the
be a
right
fun
answer.
number.
The correct
Can
answer.
I give you guys the actual list?
Let's go. Come on,
This is the
man.
actual list. Sugar Ray Robinson
I'm not
is
mad at
obviously
that.
the greatest pound for
Manny
pound fighter ever.
Pacquiao number 2.
Manny Pacquiao. Now, Manny Pacquiao, I'm talking about pound for pound. He went flyweight through junior middleweight. He gave Floyd Mayweather a good run.
He's on my list.
He's much smaller. Okay, Henry
Not number
Armstrong,
2, though.
absolutely. He should be up there. You look
Explain number 5.
Because
Explain
number 5, me and Max have seen the same amount of clips on this guy.
But he's
Harry Greb.
getting ready to go. Max ain't got a reason to go.
Harry Greb beat everyone.
We need
From
names when you're saying
I'm going
everyone.
to tell you names you won't know. Mickey Walker, have you ever heard of him? One of the greatest fighters ever. Middleweight
Gene
title
Tunney.
fight. He beat Gene Tunney. That's the only loss of Gene
But how
Tunney's
many
career.
times did they fought?
He like 5 times. Half the
He fought
time,
one
Greb
guy
fought
5
him blind
times.
in one eye. Harry Greb beat
put it back
everyone
up. Put that
from
back up.
welterweight to heavyweight. He fought the black fighters of the day that the other white fighters wouldn't fight. Sometimes that the other black fighters wouldn't fight. When I'm talking about he fought everybody. You go to the newspaper decisions
Was
back
he a
then.
puncher?
No, he was not a puncher.
Max.
He was a boxer mauler.
Max, can I cut you off for a second?
Yeah.
Because I've been following you for a long time,
Yeah.
even before this boxing
But
thing.
you're not going for
and
this
you're good
one.
at selling stuff.
Go ahead.
You can't sell it to me. Me and you have seen the same amount of fights for Harry.
Yeah, there's no footage of him
So
fighting.
there's no footage ever, though.
But there's a record of the
You're not
events.
So
going
that
for it,
means,
right, Shady?
so now we just Googling these guys. For example, what do you do good? What do you do bad?
That's
How
his
do you
books.
box?
That's his
Hold
books.
on. We're talking about the results he got in the era. Back then there was something called newspaper
How many
decisions.
losses did this guy have?
Back then there was something called newspaper decisions. If it went the distance, it was called a no decision. You had to go to the newspapers. But the newspapers were on the payroll sometimes. So do you know what I did for Harry Greb's newspaper decisions? Back in the day?
What years was
Back
this?
in the day, I went to the library and looked up 3 different newspapers. His hometown paper, his opponent's hometown paper, and a neutral paper to figure out who won the fight. And to the best of my knowledge, he had about a he had a run of, I don't know, dozens and dozens and dozens of fights against the best fighters in the world and whooped them all.
See, you said that's just Googling. He's at the library.
The real issue is, you're getting input from all these different sources. We really don't know. What I'm telling you is, everybody that's on my list, I can tell you I watched them.
And you have reasoning.
I looked them up. I see they did good and bad. I graded them.
Yes.
You can't grade
Here's the problem with the way you're doing it.
You can't grade a guy that you got to Google and read.
But what he can do, Shady, is he can educate. So what you really just did, Max, is you made me do my homework on this guy. But guess what? When I did my homework on him, I still wasn't impressed with him that much to be in the top 10 of all time.
You know what? I'm going to take you through it. I'm going to take you through it. You'll be different. Sam Langford never won a title. Most avoided fighters ever. But Sam Langford, when he fought the following fighters, those guys were considered.
He had 127 knockouts.
When Sam Langford fought Joe Walcott, the original Joe Walcott, not your Joe Walcott. At welterweight, Walcott was considered the greatest welterweight of all time. There wasn't that much boxing time back then, but when he fought him. Joe Gans at lightweight, same thing. Stanley Ketchel at middleweight, same thing. He fought Jack Johnson at heavy. He fought all the best fighters from lightweight to heavyweight. Sam. And no one would ever give him a title shot because he was like that.
I'm with this. He got me on this one.
I'm like
he got me on Sam. I don't care if I never see him either.
Sam Langford, what years was those? I'm just
turn of the century. The previous century.
Okay. Henry Armstrong, because I know
30s, 1930s.
Henry should be up there.
I'm getting somewhere.
Henry should be up there.
Sugar Ray is what?
40s.
1940s.
40s.
So, dog.
Yeah. So you're saying that those years don't exist?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when we argue these points.
Shady can't go look at it.
No. If we argue these points, it's hard to argue about a fighter that you rarely ever seen.
Yeah, you got to do your homework.
But say if you go do your homework.
And the homework you're doing is reading up newspapers from other human beings that's writing about what they've seen.
Yeah.
We've never seen it.
But, hold on. You're making a classic mistake between better and greater. You are trying to assess fighters based on their actual technique. The problem with that is technique improves over time because it comes based on what came before it. What I'm saying is that's not what's important. What's important is how did you do against your contemporaries? Did you fight them all? How did you do when you faced the best of your era? And when you assess Harry Greb, when he fought the best of his era, he was the best guy, and he did it more often than everyone else. Sugar Ray Robinson, if you want to discount him, do whatever you want to do. When you look at my list in any sport, it's not going to be dominated all by the most recent guys.
Right.
It should be a pretty good distribution of this guy happened to fight in the 40s. This guy fought 100 years ago.
Yeah.
These two fighters fought in the 90s. Yeah. This fighter's fighting today.
What about the nuances to every conversation, though? Because, for example, like, and I'm not discrediting them guys, right? Yeah. But, for example, I'm a big Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fan, right?
Yes.
I respect him.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's what I just said.
You said something like that. You may have mixed the order.
Kareem. No, that's Kareem. Okay. But when people talk about him, I can't really get into too many crazy debates, right? Because I know about him. I looked him up. But when you ask me about the top tier best centers, Shaq is going to be there. You know why? Because I can witness it. Tom Brady.
Best or greatest?
Real quick, Tom Brady. So I played with Tom Brady. My son's like, oh, you say he's the greatest. No, I said, well, don't just take my words for it, right? Go actually look him up and watch him play.
Because he's right there.
It's right there. But when you start talking about guys like Johnny Unitas, son, you
can I ask you something?
Hold up. You can't really tell me about certain guys because you never even seen them. Only thing you do is read what other people said about them.
Oh, so he's saying by you, you doing your research, you went and did your research. But that's
I can tell you what makes Muhammad Ali great.
How many kids you got, Shady?
2.
Okay, I got 3. Okay.
2.
Now, my oldest is 17. My oldest is 17. And when she was a little kid, not all the phones had video in them, right? So you had to go get some kind of video recording device so there's much less video of her than there is of my youngest daughter who's 11, going to be 11 soon, right? Does that mean that all those times didn't happen with the older one because I don't have as much video of her?
It happened, but it's not as relevant.
It's not as relevant to me.
Max, I know. So what am I question? So that's the case then, right? Because I know you know this. So nowadays, right, some of the greats, they having 60 fights. Canelo got 70, right? Yeah. These dudes are fighting 174 fights, right? 1930. You're talking about 1930s. Yeah. So my question to you is.
That counts though, Shady.
I'm not saying
no, you have to adjust for the errors.
I want to say.
You have to adjust for the era. If someone went for 1,000 yards at a time when no one was going for 1,000 yards, that means more than going for 1,000 yards when everyone goes for 1,000 yards.
Yes.
If you have to contextualize it in the era.
Agreed, Max. Shady's getting at why I didn't make a list. I think it's an absurd practice and exercise. It's a sport that's been around 150 years.
Right.
I don't think you can compare the eras. You know, Jack Johnson was when he fought Jess Willard and lost. I think the fight was scheduled for 45 rounds. It's like two different sports. Smaller gloves, bigger gloves, longer rounds. I think it's easier to compare eras. Like since 1970, maybe 1970 though.
You can have a legitimate opinion, and there's a pretty obvious one
on that.
About who the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world is, and there's a consensus in boxing, and I think it's correct, that it's Sugar Ray Robinson. All you have to do to come up who's number 2 is pretend Ray Robinson never existed. Who would you say is the best pound-for-pound?
You know we're gonna do?
That's 2, etc. That's 3.
I got one for you. When we start interviewing these fighters, these great top pound-for-pound guys, right? Because earlier today, we had the Monster, right? And you asked about Larry Holmes. I say, hey, I know he don't know who that is. Real quick, before we go to break. The next time we start interviewing these fighters, we're going to start asking about, hey, tell us about Sugar Ray. No.
What is this point
tell us about Sam Malik. Tell us about him.
You know what, I can't wait.
They're not going to know.
I can't wait until years from now when someone brings up Shady McCoy and someone's going to be like, don't tell me about no Shady McCoy from a million years ago.
Shady ain't going to have no problem with that. Right.
Coming up, the Monster, Naoya Inoue. Or are we saying Inoue? I learned it Inoue, and I have a problem with names. Joins the show. This is Inside the Ring. Inoue. I guess I should say it. Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max, Malik, Cop, Shady. We now welcome in the man headlining Ring 5 Night of the Samurai versus David or Alan Picasso. I'll tell you about that later. He told someone here that I guess at some point in the past he'd like to go by David Picasso, but everywhere you see it's Alan Picasso. Anyway, he's undefeated and he's coming off a big win, and he is fighting the number 3 ranked pound-for-pound fighter, according to Ring Magazine, and that was before Terence Crawford retired. So you imagine the second-ranked pound-for-pound fighter behind only Usyk, junior featherweight champion of the world, the Monster, Naoya Inoue. Thank you for joining us, Naoya. And by the way, can I just say, having you on the show is very exciting for me because it's not just where you rank among the elite pound-for-pound now. But when I watch you, I get the feeling like I'm watching history. Like you will be known eventually as one of the very greatest fighters who's ever lived. Is that your intention? Is that the legacy you're trying to leave?
まあ意識をしながらはボクシングの試合にはしてないですねそこは。
Well, when I box, I don't really think about that a lot. Yeah, I don't think about me being like the top player or like ranked in history or anything like that.
The Picasso fight comes before some bigger fights in the not too distant future for you, it seems. But in the meantime, he's a tall, undefeated fighter who just gutted out a win against Kamita. Are you gonna how are you going to fight Picasso?
まあいろんな戦い方で、どんな戦い方でもできる準備はしてきてるので。
So I've figured out a few scenarios in my head. So whatever the scenario might be, I'll be I'm gonna execute and fight.
Anyway, since you moved up in the weight class, you've had a couple vulnerable moments of getting knocked down twice. Is that because the opponents that's up in the higher weight class are these guys more heavy-handed, or may that be that you're just being a little unresponsible defensively wise going up against these bigger opponents?
ダウンっていうのは、自分の、過信というか、試合に対して急ぎすぎたというところが、原因かなとは思ってます。
Maybe I was a little too overconfident, and I just went too much, and that was the reason why I probably had those downs.
Naoya, we're in an era, right, where the top fighters like yourself usually fight twice a year, maybe they fight once a year. This is going to be your fourth fight this year, and if you're successful, like we think you will be, you'll be the first fighter since Larry Holmes to defend the Ring Magazine Championship 4 times in a calendar year. How much how important is activity to you?
そういった偉業に近づけるのはすごく嬉しいことですし、自分がね、4回やるっていうのは、ボクシングが本当に好きだから追求できることだと思ってます。
Of course, I'm very honored to be like in the category with Larry Holmes and other greats, and also for me, winning 4 times or fighting 4 times is something that I love to do, or boxing is what I love to do. That's why I'm able to pursue that.
Now, the monster, I mean, in America, we love you. You're a global star. And I know nobody looks past any opponent, but on a pound-for-pound list, you, Usyk, now Terence Crawford just retired. It's another guy that's close to your weight class, Bam. Is that a fight we can see in the future? And if so, how does that fight go?
彼が階級を上げてくれば実現は近づくと思いますけども、今まだ2階級下なので、現実的に自分は今はまだ見てないですね。
Of course, if he goes up to, he's at 2 divisions down, so if he goes up, then we might have something to talk about.
Naoya, until Crawford's recent retirement, I saw you were asked recently, who are the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world? And you mentioned you and Crawford and Usyk and Bam. And everyone here would mention the exact same 4 fighters. What is it about that group that everyone, including you, including us, including everyone you think, sees as being different than everyone else? You, Crawford, Usyk, and Bam.
いや、それは分からないですね。
I'm not sure. その人ど何が違うんですか？他の人と。
いや、分かんないですね。
Not sure, not quite sure. What is the difference between us and the other fighters?
But it exists. You agree that there is a difference, right? Because you see it just like everyone else sees it.
だけど、その違いがあるっていうのは認めます。
違いがあるからトップに入ってくることだと思うし、その違いっていうのは自分のボクシングを本当に誰にでもできるという強みがあるんじゃないですかね。
I think yes, there's a difference there, and because there's a difference, we are up there in the top 4. And I think because we have that confidence that we could box anybody, I think that's probably made the main difference.
Naoya, it's really been, it feels like boxing's never been hotter in Japan than it is right now. It's really been a boxing revolution there, and you're the main reason for that, right? How special is it that you're sharing a card with 4 of your countrymen this weekend in Riyadh, and the top 3 title fights are Japan versus Mexico?
そのことについて、相手がメキシコ人なことについて。
Yeah. That the fighters are Mexican, or that the whole, what do you mean by what you said?
That 3 of the fights feature a Japanese fighter against a Mexican fighter. Mexico is known as this hotbed for boxing, but now so is Japan.
でもね、全選手素晴らしい選手なので、もちろんそこで日本勢が全勝という気持ちで挑みたいですね。
Of course, all fighters that are out there are great, but I think as a Japanese, I would love to see that all of our Japanese fighters win those fights.
So finally, before we let you go, thank you for being with us today. the big fight, and it would be, I imagine, the biggest fight in Japanese boxing history, to be a big fight worldwide. If you win and Nakatani and you eventually meet, which seems to be the idea, your thoughts on fighting Nakatani?
まあ自分も望んでたファイトなので、お互いがしっかりと結果を出して実現させたいと思います。
So yeah, this is what I've always wanted to fight Nakatani. So I hope that we get there and we get the results that we hope for.
Naoya Inoue, the monster. Thank you very much for joining us on Inside the Ring today.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
By the way, the Monster headlines the Ring 5 Night of the Samurai. That's this Saturday night in Riyadh against David Picasso, coming off a gutty win. Undefeated David Picasso, by the way. It's exclusively on DAZN. We're going to be back with more Inside the Ring.
On DAZN, the fights never stop.
Let's get this party started!
Still to come in 2025. Don't miss this stacked schedule.
This is the moment of truth. Raising the roof.
And we're locked in for even more huge fight nights in 2026.
It has never been bigger for any fighter in the history of this country. Let's get ready to rumble!
Every week, it's on. So take your seat and join us ringside.
Incredible!
The undisputed global home of boxing. Watch only on DAZN.
You got Cambosis.
That's right. I was actually ringside for that upset of the year, Ring Magazine.
No, that part's over. That part's over already. We're going Welcome back to Inside the Ring. Max, Malik, Cop, Shady. Earlier we talked about how bad AJ looked, Anthony Joshua, against Jake Paul. Credit Jake Paul, but you also have to imagine that AJ has seen better days. Another heavyweight is in the news recently, that was like the dream matchup in boxing once upon a time that never happened. Deontay Wilder. He's being rumored for Alexander Usyk, and Usyk's the dude who started it. He said he wanted to fight Wilder. You can see Usyk just wants to beat all the names in his era.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Clearly, both AJ and Deontay used to be better than they are now. Barring some miracle knockout win over Usyk by Wilder, which is highly unlikely, but listen, you heard Tyson Fury. He said it's like fighting someone with a stick of dynamite in their hand, right? But who do you think who's had a better career between the two? I'm not talking about who you like to look at more. Who had the better career?
This is easy.
I mean, look, Deontay Wilder, I saw him say something recently that bothered him. I think it was Oscar De La Hoya said that he was an underachiever. That's crazy. Wilder's an overachiever. Deontay's right there. This is the guy that didn't start boxing until he was like, what, Malik? 21 years old?
18 years old.
You know, won an Olympic medal and did some pretty nice things at heavyweight. I mean, the first fight with Tyson Fury was a draw. Second fight with Tyson Fury, he got his ass kicked. But the third fight, he dropped Fury twice with Malik training him.
Trilogy.
All-time great fight.
I think it's very, very close. I think while Joshua has the better resume, but Joshua's heights were kind of bigger. Sorry, Wilder's heights are kind of bigger when you consider the Fury fights.
What do you think, Malik?
Malik's over there.
Oh, sorry, Shady.
Wrong black guy.
Yeah, wrong black guy. No, I'm asking Shady. I'm asking Shady.
I think this is an easy one. I truly do. First of all, he started boxing at 18. We just talked about how Jake Paul started boxing 6 years ago, right? Yes. And look how much he's done. Imagine you starting at 18, fighting all these guys. Like Anthony Joshua started early, right? Young. The bronze bomber. That's why I got his name, right? Because he won bronze in the Olympics when he was 18 years old.
Well, Joe Louis was called the brown bomber.
Okay.
Because back then, speaking of like racial profiling, back then if you were a black fighter, you had to be the brown bomber,
Yes.
right?
And he both from Alabama, I believe.
But look at there was a point in time where we thought like, man, this is Deontay Wilder's show. This is his era, right? Even when he lost, but before that, we been saying it. To me, I've never been a part where I thought that it was AJ's era, it was AJ's time. I never felt like that. Even after he beat Klitschko at 41 years old.
So you'd rather have, if it was you, you'd rather have Deontay's career.
Yeah, because I always talk about the respect of your peers, right?
Who's Deontay's biggest win against? I could say for AJ, I could say, I always bring up Joseph Parker, Ruiz in the rematch. You'd say Povetkin is a gold medalist.
I know what it was.
Vladimir Klitschko is AJ's
I know what
biggest.
Deontay's biggest one is.
You're saying,
Let's say
you're saying
Luis Ortiz.
Yeah,
Luis Ortiz, that was a good one. He was that fight locked him out.
Ortiz is 40 years old. He wasn't a champion, but
There
okay.
we go, Max. He was still the boogeyman of division at that time.
He was.
Yes.
Big
yes.
dude. Could punch,
That's
had
a
hands,
great
South
question,
Cuban
Max.
background. Yeah, southpaw is a lot.
Yeah.
When Joshua loses, he doesn't make excuses. The
And it's how it looks.
45-pound costume. Fury has egg weights in his gloves.
say this.
Doctor loaded his gloves.
I'll say
It's
this
embarrassing.
about
But it's how it
Deontay.
looks too, though, right?
It is. I think AJ's had a better career. But I'll say this about Deontay. Deontay is in a certain way, one of the most impressive fighters ever.
The hardest puncher in the history of the sport of boxing.
You could argue his right hand is the biggest punch ever.
Yes.
But it's more than that. He picks up boxing when he's 18.
Brought the heavyweight division
and he reaches
back.
the heights
That's
that he
true.
does in a competitive era. It was a really good era. And he was only 217 pounds at his best.
Skinny.
But he was the guy chasing around dudes 30 and 40 pounds bigger. There's a certain kind of fighter who can do that. Like Evander Holyfield did that. He reminds me of a dude like Holyfield, not in style, but in the sense that even though he's giving up all the weight, he's the hunter. He reminds me
Usyk does it.
He reminds me of Rocky Marciano, but Usyk sometimes he boxes on the perimeter, sometimes. But Deontay was the dude the other guy was scared of.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Marciano in the sense that they're physically very different. Short little white guy, tall,
But they do the hunting.
right? Like one guy's stocky, one guy's lean, but they both picked up the sport at 18 years old. They both had right hands that could destroy you, and they both reached heights they shouldn't have been able to reach.
Especially with the lack of experience. that they
Yes,
had.
And
like-
it's experience matters because when you watch Deontay Wilder fight, it always is like, man, he's way more inexperienced than all the other guys. You see it.
And then
but he always finds a way to win,
At his
majority
best
of
he
his
did,
career.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at AJ's best knockout, and then you look at, in my opinion, Deontay Wilder's best knockout, it's very rarely you see what he did to Romain Stavern that second fight.
That was crazy.
It's very rare.
I think the Stavern first fight was more impressive.
I know-
because that was
from
the
a
first,
tech- from a tech
from a tech.
standpoint.
Could he stay disciplined
behind
and win
the- yes.
behind a jab? Like he
Yes,
had never
yes.
done that before. And
That was
Stavern was the top 10-ish heavyweight.
That was his first
And he did
title.
it.
Yeah.
and
that's when he first won it.
I mean, like, to me, Deontay Wilder, was he ever heavyweight champion? If you ask me, was he champion, I say no, he was never the heavyweight
Right.
champion of the world. But
What was he then, Max? If he wasn't the heavyweight
he
champion,
was
what was
he
he?
was a top dangerous contender. But I'm just saying, because the champion was Tyson Fury when he beat Vladimir Klitschko.
Lineal champion.
Then he went away, and the consensus formed around Anthony Joshua. Now, Deontay and Tyson Fury, you could say, well, there was sort of a consensus around Deontay too. I go with that. Say he kind of was a heavyweight champion.
No, it was heavyweight champion.
But I mean, like, he never had to beat the man to become champ, and he never beat Tyson Fury. He drew with him, so that kind of kept a belt with him that he never really won. He won it against Stavern.
Right.
And then Tyson Fury knocked him out twice.
But what I want to say quick is, right, while
But
I think,
all respect to Deontay Wilder, he's one of the most interesting fighters
no
ever
question.
to me.
And I want to say, yes, we're talking about resumes. Joshua had the better wins, and while I really did not like I said, the excuses that Wilder had, I give him a lot of credit for the balls he showed. I mean, he really showed something in that second and third fight. He took a tremendous beating from Fury in the second fight, right? Busted eardrum, he's bleeding everywhere. And then the
He gave
third
up
fight,
50 pounds. You know how I give credit for Sugar Ray Robinson? I said the one fight he lost in his first 130 was to a full-fledged middleweight. He didn't move up. He gave up 15 pounds. Deontay was giving up 50 pounds to the best dude in the division.
And then the third
50.
fight, he comes in there. He already been stopped by this guy and battered, and then he came right to him.
Yes.
So he dropped him twice. He had
and that's
Wilder, I think, has
Fury.
all-time heart. And
If Deontay would have started boxing
Earlier.
at the age of 8,
Right.
he might have
wouldn't
been
be-
one of the greatest fighters who ever lived.
Now we don't respect the alphabets. We don't do that. That's because you did it for 25 years.
Yeah.
Y'all up here talking like Anthony Joshua was a ring belt champ or something. Was he?
Not me.
Was he?
Not exactly.
Nope.
No.
Not exactly.
Hell no. So let's not act like he's the super great champion. Let's not do that.
I'm not.
When a lineal title, a Ring Magazine champion goes away, like Fury did, he retired, he had mental health issues, drug issues, the whole thing. Then the lineage is broken. This has happened throughout boxing history. Usually a consensus forms around another one or two fighters in that person's absence.
And a space is almost open.
Yes, and they create their own lineage. I would argue that the consensus after the Klitschko fight that Joshua won was that he had started a new lineage.
That's an argument, not a reality.
I agree. It's an argument.
Point,
there
Malik.
are other arguments. That's true.
And Malik, I want to say, though, you were in the corner for a while with that third fight.
Yes.
Again, I thought that was incredible. Like, the beating, like, most referees would have stopped that fight much sooner.
Yes.
Wilder wanted to go out on his shield, and full credit to him. What were you seeing in that corner?
Well, the second fight, he was enraged because he didn't get to go out like that. So when the third fight
Brought
came,
you in, right.
Yes, when the third fight came, and I was his head trainer, I believe the best way to beat a Tyson Fury is to aim at almost everything besides his head. If you look at Alexander Usyk fighting, he shoots down, he shoots down, then he eventually gets to the head. So in the first 2-3 rounds, that's what I had Deontay doing. He was having some success at that. But his heart is so big, the minute that you come close to punching him, he look at you like, you have the audacity to try to hurt me, it's over. And then he just went on a hunt. And him even doing that, going on a hunt, he got 2 good knockdowns.
2 great ones, yeah.
One knockdown, I have no clue even to this day how Fury got up. The waves went through
The
his
waves
body.
went through, I was just thinking about that. It reverberated through his body.
And he got right up, then got knocked down again and got back up.
What you're saying about Deontay, when a guy starts at 18 and the muscle memory isn't there, like if he started at 8 or 10,
yes.
that quality is dangerous for him.
Yes.
But that's why I say if Deontay would have started younger, like as a kid, that quality you bring up, I think of Eric Morales as the ultimate dude like this. If you hit Morales, if you two-pieced him, he's coming with 3.
Yes.
That quality is in all great fighters.
Yes. Still there.
And Deontay has that, and he had the power where if his technique was more automatic from childhood, he would have been an all-time great. As it is, he's an all-time great puncher.
And as
with
it
a
is
huge
too.
heart.
He saved the
Wilder's
heavyweight
credited
for
for
America,
Joshua
though.
was discredited
He
for, right?
brought the
way he lost
heavyweight
to
division
Ruiz.
back. Yes.
Can we say that too, Max? He just brought the heavyweight division back.
Deontay was part of it for
Especially in
sure.
America, for sure.
He fought Ortiz. He chased the smoke of Ortiz when Joshua Matchroom didn't want to have nothing to do with Ortiz.
Yeah, it's true.
Joshua left that fight there. He didn't want that fight with Ortiz. And Deontay was like, hold on, I want that smoke right there. He's the boogeyman. Bring him to me.
Although if you want to compare their best wins, the Klitschko win was a better win than the Ortiz win. They were Ortiz and Klitschko were about the same
Klitschko
age
win
when
that Joshua
AJ
did,
and
that Joshua
Wilder
Klitschko
fought.
win is one of the best wins over a lot of wins.
Yeah, I
just
agree.
in people's career.
I agree.
Shady
It's a
don't
great,
agree with
great
that,
win.
but that's another whole
Yeah,
story.
the atmosphere
He looks at
and how great
Vladimir
the fight
Klitschko
was.
like he was
Come on, man.
old, but that was
41
alive.
and he coming off a
He
loss.
was so alive then, no
I'm
Shady.
good on that. I'm good
He
on that.
was so alive.
I've seen Klitschko at his best. And at 41, that wasn't his best.
No, but it was
I'm not
better
saying
than
no.
it was.
But I'm saying,
It was- it looked like a pretty good imitation of his best.
But y'all talking like he was at his best and he wasn't.
Ooh, he looked good
I'm not
to
gonna
me
let y'all. I'm not gonna let you lie to the people. He wasn't at his best. Don't let him fool y'all.
Coming up, Mike Coppinger sat down with Subriel Matias. This is Inside the Ring.
The Locker Room, the new home of DAZN's boxing content. All your big hitters, all in one place.
I am not going to stop until I am pulled off of this guy.
Daniel, don't disrespect you are. Daniel, don't disrespect you. More exclusive content than ever before.
Look at that blood. You remember what's coming.
Welcome to Inside the Ring, boxing's official show of record. I'm your host, Max Keller.
The Locker Room, only on DAZN, the global home of boxing.
Subriel Matias delivered an adverse analytical finding for the performance-enhancing drug Ostarine following a VADA test last month. However, the amount of Ostarine was 0.085, and that's within the allowable thresholds in New York of 0.1 for that substance. Thus, Matias' WBC junior welterweight title defense will proceed January 10th in Brooklyn as planned. And now, I want to welcome Matias himself, the number 2 ranked junior welterweight in the world by the ring. Subriel, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me. How are you?
Estoy bien, contento, gracias a Dios. Gracias por la oportunidad.
Yeah, so look, right? Obviously, the news came out last month, and the substance in your system was at very low levels, below 0.1. And you said all along, right, that you didn't take anything illegal. How do you think the substance got into your system?
Realmente yo vuelvo y digo, yo en mi vida he usado algo similar a hacer trampa, nada. No sé cómo apareció eso, no sé cómo salió, arrojó eso en la prueba. La prueba B salió 100%, ¿sabe? Para empapar al que no sabe y habla de más. Yo estaba dispuesto a hacerme la del pelo. Yo estaba dispuesto a enviar todos los suplementos con el batch code, el abierto y el nuevo, a Utah. Baba informó que no era necesario porque era contaminación.
Like we said, right, you're clear to fight because the threshold is 0.1 and your levels were below that. When you got the news that the fight was going to continue as planned, Subriel, how relieved were you, or did you feel like there was already damage done to your name?
Una vez sales el supuesto positivo, al otro día, nosotros que estábamos haciendo la diligencia de buscar todos los suplementos nuevos con el mismo batch code, sabe que nos mantuvimos entrenando. E incluso yo me hice una prueba de orina por acá en un laboratorio confiable de que detectara cualquier tipo de esteroide. ¿Sabe? Vuelvo y te repito, yo en mi vida, y lo digo aquí ahora mismo, si a mí me hacen la de prueba, la de pelo, y yo salgo positivo, algún suplemento, sea el que sea, en cuestión de hacer trampa dentro de un ring, yo me retiro del boxeo.
Yeah, and Subriel, you know, I have long said that you're the best fighter from Puerto Rico. I know other fighters have been promoted, I think, above you. But as far as that country goes, there's no question you've been the best for the last couple of years, and now you're showing it to everybody. And I'm glad to see you finally fighting in New York. We've seen all the great fighters, you know, in New York over the years from Puerto Rico. Felix Trinidad, of course, chief among them. What do you think it will take for you to become the big Puerto Rican star that we see you in the ring?
Realmente uno sueña desde niño, ¿sabe? La juventud, yo vi creciendo a Tito, a Cotto, a Calderón, y que hoy día yo ostente un título mundial nuevamente por segunda vez y que, ¿verdad? Mis fanáticos reales me apoyen y que el fanático del boxeo en general me apoye y se disfrute mis peleas, para mí es grandioso, ¿sabes? Algo que se soñaba desde pequeño.
Yeah, and you're certainly forging your own legacy now. You're one of the sport's great action fighters, like we said. Always a good fight. But speaking of Puerto Rico, it was right in Puerto Rico that you had that big upset loss to Liam Paro. And after the loss, many people in boxing wrote you off, right? They said Subriel Matias can't deal with a boxer, a guy who moves and has a jab. And a lot of people counted you out against Alberto Puello. You proved them all wrong and showed that you can deal with a lot of different styles. How gratifying was that victory and kind of silencing all the doubters?
Yo respeto las opiniones. Todo el mundo, ¿verdad?, carga una opinión y para mí es respetable. Yo considero que yo, como peleador, a pesar de ser frentero y guerrero, me adapto a cualquier estilo. El problema es que cualquier estilo no se adapta al mío. Así yo lo veo, desde ese punto de vista.
Subriel, you fought with both Top Rank and PBC, and neither of those promoters ever pushed you in New York. This fight is happening in New York, right? Because your promoter, Fresh Productions, won the purse bid, outbid Eddie Hearn and Matchroom's Dalton Smith's promoter, and said, we're doing a fight in New York. How big is that, do you feel? And how disappointed do you think Eddie Hearn was to not have Dalton Smith fight in the UK, where he has a big following?
Pues mira, no es decepción. Es que quizá, ¿verdad? En cuestión de horario, la diferencia de clima, etcétera, pues quizá no se coincidió a un acuerdo. Y a pesar de todo, esto es algo que se está viendo histórico. En Puerto Rico no ha habido un promotor que hiciera esa hazaña, la que está haciendo Juan Iván Orengo, y por eso es tan especial tanto para él como para mí.
Yeah, and speaking of New York, we have a pretty big fight in New York later in the month, January 31st at Madison Square Garden. Teofimo Lopez defending his Ring Magazine championship at 140 pounds against Shakur Stevenson. You, of course, earlier this year were in talks to fight Teofimo Lopez, and that deal was almost closed, fell apart at the last minute, as you know. Will we see you ringside at Madison Square Garden to scout it and maybe set up a fight with the winner of Teo and Shakur?
Pues mira, sería gufiado que el Turqui hiciera la invitación con el manejador mío. Sería grandioso yo estar allí presente, ¿sabes? No se descarta. Obviamente, de parte de Teofimo, pues es un cobarde, ¿sabes? Él no quiso, él rehuyó al combate conmigo. Pero Shakur, todos saben que es una bestia. No sé si se queda en 40 o suelta el título para que Cachon Davis lo pelee. Que entiendo que Cachon Davis pelea con Hickey o en algún momento. So que yo estaría encantado de presentarme, claro que sí.
Yeah, look, Subriel, there's no question that you've been one of the most avoided fighters in boxing for a long time. And then it seemed to me that people only wanted to fight you after you lost to Liam Paro. Maybe that's changing again after the way you looked against Puello. But Dalton Smith, he's a guy that wants to fight you. I was actually there with you, right, when you faced off with Dalton Smith in New York after your win in July. He's a quality fighter, good following, like we said, from England, number 7 in the Ring Magazine rankings at 140. When you look at tape of Dalton Smith, what do you see, and what did you see when you faced off with him in person?
Pues mira, es la que tengo de frente, ¿sabes? Y obviamente es una oportunidad para él de retarme. Y lo pusieron mandatorio. Es la pelea que está y vamos a demostrar y a seguir demostrando quién es el orgullo de Maternillo.
Yeah, and Subriel, you've already knocked off 6 undefeated fighters. That's impressive, of course. Dalton Smith is another undefeated fighter you're going to be facing. And we know he has the major backing of Eddie Hearn, right? Eddie Hearn wanted to win the purse bid. Your promoter won the purse bid. I'm sure that didn't sit well with Matchroom. How would it feel to take the O of another fighter, and this time, Dalton Smith?
Yo he enfrentado a 7 y, ¿verdad? De 7 le he ganado a 6. Y de 6 he noqueado a 5. Solamente uno, ¿verdad? Pasó la prueba, que fue Alberto Puello. Y está en turno, ¿verdad? Si sale todo bien, estamos en busca de la revancha.
Well, look, it's certainly no easy feat to regain a world title. You did that by beating Alberto Puello, but it seems that you still want to avenge that loss to Liam Paro. And you're number 2 in the Ring Magazine rankings. What would it mean to you to fight for the Ring Magazine championship against the winner of Teo and Shakur?
Pues mira, realmente mientras lo tenga Teofimo, nunca va a suceder. Teofimo es un cobarde.
Fair enough. Well, Subriel, thank you so much for joining us. You've long been one of my favorite fighters. You always bring it in the ring. Love watching you fight. And excited to see you January 10th against Dalton Smith. And certainly we hope to see you January 31st in New York at Teo Shakur. Thank you again.
Respect.
Called out Teofimo Lopez, called him a coward. I mean, one thing Teo's not is a coward.
Right.
No.
But also, like, if I was fighting Teofimo Lopez, I don't think I'd, like, Teofimo Lopez, when he gets up for a fight, is a beast.
Right. Yes.
You want Teofimo when he's not really paying attention to you.
Yes.
I mean, if he's talking reckless about Teo, I love Teo in that fight. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd love to see the fight. You know, Max, the fight was almost done for earlier this year in March. Talks collapsed at the 11th hour. Teo's the one that backed out of the fight. You know, he didn't like the money or whatever. But so that's why Matias is calling him a coward. But look, Subriel Matias, refreshing interview. He did have something in his system, but it was under the threshold, so he's cleared to fight. There are no shenanigans here.
Right, good.
How can you, I just don't get this part. When you want to talk, I guess it's boxing, right? It's boxing. But when you talk about certain player or boxer, like, you got to be more a little respectful if the dude is like that. Same what you want about Teo.
Why does he have to respect him?
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
he's saying Matias is not like that.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, he's saying
how are you? Yeah, how are you the guy like that?
Well, because he's very tough.
He's
very tough.
He's a very gritty fighter.
I get that.
And you have to beat him. If you don't beat him, you're in for a long night, Shady.
But what I'm saying
respect that man.
But when you throwing Teo's name, you throwing Teo's name. Teo's like a come on, dog. Teo been on a pound for pound type of wave before in his career. I watched. What's my man that's whipped on his ass? What's his name? I watched that fight.
Yeah.
And I watched Richardson just do him dirty.
And it's a big deal, though, to come back and win a title. And Alberto Puello is a damn good boxer. He beat him.
Sound good. We'll find out.
And Matias is probably the best fight of his career, all things considered.
Yeah, and this is a tough fight coming up. Dalton Smith.
We're going to find out.
Oh, yeah. Dalton Smith, they've been building him up as a prospect over there for a long time.
Dalton can fight.
Coming up, Shady McCoy's interview with Alycia Baumgardner. She checked you on that, huh, on the Alycia?
No.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did. She didn't go. No, she didn't go.
Don't say Alycia.
Alycia.
She handled it well.
Hey, listen. Listen up. Let's have it. We know you've always got your eye on the prize, the championship belt. And why wouldn't you? You're a finely tuned, well-oiled boxing watching machine, capable of consuming over 185 fights on the zone every year.
We've gone big, we've gone global.
Churning through combinations, comebacks, and non-stop knockouts.
Are you not entertained?
With big fights every week, you're the best in the world. So go on, get that belt, champ. The Zone, undisputed.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. I am Shady McCoy, but now we are joined by Ring Magazine Women's Junior Lightweight Champion, Alycia Baumgardner. Happy to have you on the show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Now, real quick, on this show, we fight and we claw for our one-on-one interviews. So I had to knock out Max and Mike Cott for this interview, get the one-on-one, because this is a special moment for me. Now, this fight, big performance on Netflix, tens of millions of fans watching, like a Super Bowl type of game. And this tells us about the performance, tell you how you felt. It was a big stage for you.
Yeah, so first, I feel amazing. I feel well accomplished. History was made on Netflix, 12 rounds, 3 minutes. From the fight week build up to the weigh-ins, to the press, to the walkout, to stepping inside that ring. You know, I was enjoying every moment because once it's gone, it's gone. And I did everything that I wanted to do. I envisioned everything that I knew was going to happen. And here we are talking about it now.
Yeah. Now you had a big win, big victory. But this victory was a little different for you. You dedicate this victory to your father, Mario. Can you really speak about that?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, my dad is who instilled this work ethic in me. He asked me one day after wrestling was over, he's like, do you want to box? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Not even knowing what I'm getting myself into. But I walked into that gym as an 8-year-old girl with the work ethic, with the mentality to say, I'm here, I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to keep doing this. And, you know, my dad just instilled that in me. It didn't matter that I was a girl in a boy sport, you know. It was the fact that I had work ethic and that I worked hard for the things that I wanted. And my dad was just a huge motivation. Him being gone now just really embraced me through this camp to get through and to follow through and to use that as my motivation to say, by all means, somebody getting beat.
Right. Now you are the bomb. But I got to, before I move, I got to ask you this question. So you say you started at 8 years old. Now, did you have like an advantage because they see you, very attractive girl, and they think it's going to be sweet, and you start putting them hands on them? Like, did you kind of surprise people at a young age like that?
Every time, you know, I always mention about being a beauty and being a beast and the duality of both. I don't have to choose. And I'm a warrior inside, you know, the face card don't decline, but baby, the hands don't either. Ooh. And so when you're able to bring both of those together, we really put on a show. And I think a lot of people are just, you know, they see things one way, like, how is a fighter supposed to look? Well, I'm bringing both. And it's a great surprise when people are just like, damn, she really can fight and can.
You voluntarily gave up your WBC title because of principle, and you wanted to fight the 12 3-minute rounds. Can you talk a little bit about that, though? Because, you know, the WBC, they barred that.
Yeah, you know, listen, one thing about being in the sport of boxing, you're able to run your own show. I am the CEO and the COO of my company. And when MVP came to me with this opportunity to step in the ring to do 12 rounds, 3 minutes, it was an opportunity. It was a challenge that I wanted to accept for myself. When we think about being a fighter, when we think about being a challenger, you step up to the plate. And so I stepped up to the plate to say, hey, I do want to do this. And as much as I know that I worked hard to get my WBC belt, I make that belt. The belts don't make me, and I don't want to be attached to some things that are material because I know deep down I'm already a champion and I already was undisputed. So this was an opportunity to showcase the skills and the reason why equality is necessary in the sport of boxing, to share the same runway as Jake Paul and on Netflix, and to show the world that there's a bigger stage out there that needs to be shared. And Alycia Baumgardner was able to do that and showcase those Friday night. Right.
Well, you look good. Now, in the 3 rounds for sure. But I want to ask this question, and I got to ask because I watched the press conference, and I'm a dog lover, and that seems like you're a dog lover as well. Now, Caroline Dubois, you talked about she's a little pup. right? And sometimes little pups, because I have dogs all the time, and they need a little training, a little spanking, right? Is there a chance? Can we find that out if the little pup needs that spanking?
Listen, some of these dogs need some home training and they ain't got it. Sometimes they come from the UK to the US with no home training. So they got to understand there's steps in becoming to stepping in that cage with a big dog. And, it's important that you a worthy opponent. I need to see you unify your division. I know a lot of them are barking up my tree, but what have you done? You know what I'm saying? So there needs to be a tell sign on why you even think you should be in the ring with me. First off, unify your division. Do what I did.
I respect
That's all
that.
I'm saying.
No, I respect that. That means a lot. So going from a little pup to a big dog, Amanda Serrano has been the woman that's really been pushing the charge of the 3-minute round fights. Is that something we can see? I think that the people would love to see that.
I don't think anything's off the table. When it comes to business, when it comes to negotiating, we talk about what's next for Alycia Baumgardner. What does the main event look like for Alycia Baumgardner? Who's going to give Alycia Baumgardner a great fight? And you can mention Amanda Serrano, and I think that, again, that's not off the table. Amanda is a great champion, a great fighter. She has been a trailblazer in the sport of boxing, and to share the ring with her would be a pleasure and would be something that the boxing fans would appreciate.
Right. Now, here on this show, Inside the Ring, we keep it real. And I think Amanda, she's really good at the pressure, right? And I think you are super skilled. We got to have that fight, right? Nowadays in boxing, man, we're getting all the right fights at the right time, men and females. And I just want you to confirm on this show that if that fight presents itself, there won't be no excuses about the contract, this and the third. You will make that happen.
I will make it happen. Like I say plenty of times, I don't duck any smoke from nobody. I believe and I know that my skills are so superior. My athleticism is so superior. Okay. There's no girls who look like me, who fight like me, who punch like me, that I would duck anybody. I'm for the smoke.
Okay. Layla Ali, she said a lot of great things about you, a lot of great things. And I'm just curious, who's on your Mount Rushmore for female fighters?
I have a few, but right now I want to just speak on how Layla was a trailblazer for women's boxing. And I think when you think about Layla Ali, you think about the transition that she's made in the sport and where she's at now. When we think about a fighter and we think about putting somebody on, your Mount Rushmore, you got to think about it as a whole package, how they fought, how they presented themselves, how they sold a fight. She's a beauty and a beast as well, and she showed the duality with that. So she's definitely on my Mount Rushmore, and just, being an inspiration. She's inspired me to be who I am today and to show up and to really be the face of women's boxing.
Right. I got a couple more questions for you. One is, now Jake Paul fought Anthony Joshua, and most people thought that it would go like that. It'll be a knockout in AJ's favor. But to give credit, I think Jake Paul fought pretty well. What was your assessment on the fight and how it went?
Listen, I want to just first say shout out to Jake Paul. If it wasn't for Jake Paul, he wouldn't be giving us women the opportunity to be on such a platform like Netflix, to share the same runway. And one thing about Jake Paul and what I know is that he believes in himself. If it's delusion or whatever the case is, he believes in himself. He believes in his trainer. He believes in his corner that he can do that. And the fact that he went those 6 rounds with Anthony Joshua just proves his mentality of being a fighter, to be in the ring, regardless of what the outcome was. He did it. And, it was just a great fight. It was entertaining, right? When we think about boxing, we think about entertainment. And some people have to realize that boxing is an entertainment sport. And Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua gave us that Friday night. And, it was something to see. It was something to see, but I definitely was entertained. And, a big thank you to Jake Paul for just sharing the platform, allowing me to open up the show and to set the stage.
Ooh, I see how you slipped them punches. You slipped that question. I need you to give me your real input on the fight, because AJ being so experienced and Jake only really fight for 6 years. Like, going 6 rounds is good for Jake. But what about AJ, though? Because I lost money. I bet that AJ would knock him out in the first 4 rounds. So I guess you got to give me the assessment on AJ's performance.
Yeah, when you think about a fighter, a former world champion like Anthony Joshua, who's been in that ring, who knows what that ring is, you know, you have to know that he's going in there with the mindset of, I've been here before, I know what this looks like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. The same mentality that I had when I did 12 rounds. I know what I'm gonna do, I know how I'm gonna do it, I don't have to rush. I'm gonna set everything up, I'm gonna look for my punches, and I'm gonna make it entertaining. So you know, it's a full package thing. It's a different mentality when you're in there and you're thinking about how I want to do this. There's many ways to skin a cat. But baby, when you're in the ring, it's the same thing. So it's like the different approaches could be entirely different. But the main goal is to get him out of there, and that's what he did.
You're right about that. He did get him out of there. Now, I'm a huge boxing fan since I've been a little boy. I boxed a little bit, but I didn't really finish, but I did box a lot as a kid. But I come from the football world. And when we have a big game, like a Netflix type of game, big playoff game, playing against the Cowboys in Dallas, and I go crazy, and the fans are seeing it, the world's seeing it, my DMs was crazy popping. Now, you did your thing on Netflix. Tens of millions of people was watching. What was them DMs talking about, though? We got to know.
Listen, the DMs was flooded. I would need a Noah's Ark to get through them DMs, okay? It's so deep. But, you know, a lot of love and support. I think that it was just an opportunity for me to show the world what boxing looks like as a woman. I know a lot of people think when they see two women fighting, it's just a fight. No, you have a woman who has real skill behind what she does. And to be able to showcase that for 12 rounds, that's impressive. That's history. And that just goes to show the tiers of what boxing has. And I never stop learning. Never. I'm never satisfied. I am my biggest critic. So when we step back into that ring come next year, you will see just a more dominated fighter, more skillful. Like, it just never stops. It keeps getting better.
I know that's right. Well, that's from the bomb, Alycia Baumgardner. Thank you for your time so much inside the ring. Thanks for having you on the show. And we'll see you again.
See you again. Thank you so much.
All right. What do we think about Shady McCoy's first interview? Peabody, Pulitzer, what? What do we got for Shady?
Hey, look, man, the first one.
He killed it, man. Incredible job. That was the first one.
The first one, too.
My guy killed it.
And look, the next one even better.
I already know.
Oh, you're going to get another one?
Look. Oh, for sure. What you say? What? The next one? I got you. Anyway, look, the next fight, it got to be somebody that I, you know, because all these guys are my homeboys. Yeah. I'm going to get the best out of them.
Big facts,
I know what you text me. Oh, I know what you text me. Let's read it together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys,
good job,
Ring 5, Night of the Samurai, is this weekend, and it's time to get into some best bets for that card. Cop, you're going to be on the card, so no best bets for you. You have to have neutrality.
Heading to Riyadh straight from here, right?
Right, you're going right to Riyadh.
Right to the airport.
Right? Malik, your best bet.
Wow, another one to the left.
Again, I keep on Malik.
The other Malik.
Yeah.
I think
I called Coppinger Malik.
He's not dark enough. He's not dark enough.
I'm going with I think I went between 4th round and 7th round knockout.
4 to 7.
Yeah, 4 to 7.
All right.
I think I got 6.
But what are the odds on 4 to 7? Do we know?
Plus 180.
Plus 180.
Okay, there
Mine's
we
is
go.
4 to
Plus
6.
180.
Yes,
Right.
4 to 6 180.
Shady, your best bet.
Real quick, guys in the back. I forgot. Is it 6? 4 to 6 also? Yeah, 106. We talking about the monster here, though. That's what he do. He puts everybody down.
Right.
Yeah, actually,
bang, bang, get down.
But you're not getting any odds on that. I get plus 550 if it goes the distance. I think it
he
has
ain't
a
going
chance to go the distance
distance.
because he's in with the monster's in with a tall, rangy guy who's just showed a lot of grit and heart.
He can fight.
Going the distance, who can fight against Kameda. Now, if you don't want to say go the distance, the over/under is 5, right? So 5.5. So if he gets into the 6th round, or if he gets into the 7th round, this dude is what? It's minus 120. That's pretty good odds.
He explosive though, Max.
Yeah, he is explosive.
He hits hard.
It's a lot to get through.
And so he throws a lot of punches.
Hey, Shady knows, right? He once probably bet against Inoue with Fulton.
I ain't never bet against him.
Just picked against him. All right.
I ain't never bet against him. I ain't never bet against him.
What do you think would make him pick Stephen Fulton over Inoue?
I'm trying to think. I can't put my finger on it.
I was with him though.
I didn't bet. I didn't
bet, but I was with him.
See, that's that smile that tells me he did bet. Did you bet the fight or not?
Dude,
I'm going to do the Larry David. You know, like, let me look at
I would never in my life bet against the monster.
Yeah, but you may didn't know no better at that time.
Oh, I knew better.
Okay, at that time?
He looked around like Pacquiao. I knew better.
He is. He's like this era's Pacquiao.
There's one thing that Shady couldn't overcome.
Coming up, we get into the knockout news. This is Inside the Ring. Welcome back to Inside the Ring. I'm Max Kellerman. That is Malik Scott. That is Mike Coppinger. And that is Shady McCoy. Let's get into the knockout news. First up, Canelo Alvarez made his debut at AAA Wrestling, a WWE Lucha Libre Wrestling League. Guys, does Canelo have a future as a professional wrestler after his boxing career?
Why not? He's an amazing heel already, right? Heel Canelo, everyone talks about it on the internet. He likes to talk trash. He curses amazing in English.
Yeah.
By the way, as soon as he learned English,
he went crazy.
His personality, you could see why he connects with fans. He has a big personality.
I think he'd be great. Everybody loves Canelo, man.
Yes.
I don't care who you
There's
are.
the Undertaker, the dead man.
He got swag, he could dress, he could talk his trash, and his English got way better.
And fight his ever-loving ass off.
I'll tell you this one, Shady. I don't know about top 10 boxers all time, but Undertaker's top 10 pound-for-pound wrestlers all time.
Easy.
No question.
No, he's up there. He ain't messing with like The Rock and Stone Cold.
Top 10 now.
Yeah, and Hulk Hogan and all that. But he's up there, though.
My guys were like Hulk Hogan, the Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter.
I love Randy Savage, my all-time favorite.
The Macho Man.
Superfly Jimmy Snicker.
Oh, Snooker?
I knew that was him.
What if my mother or my grandmother told me dinner was ready and Superfly Snooker's on the top rope? I'm not going anywhere.
What about Mankind?
Who?
Mick Foley. Yeah, Mick Foley.
Y'all know who Mankind is?
Yeah, but that's after my time.
Yo, when I used to have fights in school, I would go and put my hand in their mouth and try to do the. Sorry.
Next up, Seiya Tsutsumi retained a belt with a split decision win over, guys, Nonito Donaire. By the way, who gave the monster all he
Broke
wanted.
his orbital, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
He's 43 years old. One judge had it for Donaire.
Yes.
The other two for Tsutsumi. That's why it's a split decision for Tsutsumi.
That's dope.
Guys, I got to say something about Nonito Donaire. He was a special champion.
Yes.
He went through multiple weight divisions and easily beat fighters who were world champions, who were respectable, who other guys were in life and death with, and Donaire was blowing them out, right? Then he runs into Rigando, right? And you were there, I saw you there at the fight.
That's one of my best picks.
Yep, and Rigando outboxes him and beats him. And now he's on the second half of his career, Donaire, where he's not quite as good as he was in the first half. He's fighting in heavier weight divisions, he's older. But my God, guys, if you took
at a high level.
If you took the whole career Donaire had before the Rigando fight and just took the stuff since the Rigando fight, he's like a memorable fighter from this era as what he did as an old man. It's unbelievable what he's doing.
Yes, one of the best left hooks. A lot of people think Ryan Garcia had one of the best left hooks he do, but his reactive left hook, like while you're throwing your right hand to hit you before you get your right hand back.
It reminded me of Roy Jones.
I respect it.
And a great personality, too.
Yeah. I knew you like him, Max, because he's older. He look like all the old guys.
I like the old guys. I liked him when he was younger, too. All right, it's time for the best segment in all of sports. It's Rate That Knockout. Ooh. Super welterweights on Friday night. Underdog Marlon Harrington knocked out undefeated Brian Polacco with a big right hand.
Get the smelling salt, Max.
Okay, let's rate this knockout. What do you guys think? 1 to 10.
Get
1
the
to 10.
smelling salt.
Malik, 1 to 10.
Damn.
The real Malik, 1 to 10.
I'm going to go with a 9.
Nah, bro. Yeah, 9. And get the smelling salt in a bucket and it's poured on his body.
And the reason I went with a 9 because it wasn't set up. He did it in an exchange.
Yeah, I see that, but still one hitter quitter.
Yes.
Next up, super bantamweights. Ramon Cardenas put Eric Robles to sleep with his devastating shot in round 5. Guys, rate that knockout.
Okay, let's see.
And remind you, this is the same Ramon Cardenas that dropped Naoya Inoue earlier this year.
Oh, the same one?
the same guy.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
What about that?
Ooh, that's.
What about that? Is that
I
that's like what?
would say.
It's
I would
almost
say.
a pull counter, not
Yeah, it
exactly.
is.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not like the classic one, but it is a pull counter.
I would go 10.
Yeah.
It was a little bit, because I would say it was a setup.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
made
right,
him
yeah.
reach, then made him pay. You
Full
reach
pull
out, teach
counter on
kind
that
of
other
thing.
angle.
Yep.
Yeah,
A dude named
I think there are no real 10s. I'm going to go 9.
That's a 9.
This dude, he refuses to. You understand what Coppinger does?
Yeah.
He refuses to rank the fighters.
Yes, that's right. The
He
Coppinger way, baby.
Like
The
he's like
Coppinger
he would
way.
have been
detention.
What was that movie I saw with my kids? With the superheroes, it's a family of superheroes. The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Oh, the
And they were
Incredibles.
fighting the Underminer. Was there? That's him. He's the Underminer.
Yes, yo, but real quick, that's a 9. I did a guy like that
9, yeah.
in the 8th grade named Lil JoJo.
Just like that.
Lil
Pull counter.
JoJo. I pulled back.
Yeah.
And the teacher had to wake him up.
Why don't you fight Big JoJo? Why is it Little JoJo? Unless he was big. Was it Little JoJo because he was actually big?
Yo, that's his name.
Next up, not a knockout, but a double knockdown.
I see
Joshan
this,
James and Johanler Martinez both hit the canvas.
Oh.
Not just Rocky and Apollo, because everyone says they landed simultaneously. Actually, Rocky hit him and they both fell,
What was
right?
the fight from Showbox? It was J.R.
No, back in the day, it was,
That was
Leroy
Shakur
Murphy
Yes, that's what it was.
Leroy
Shakur
Murphy and Chisanda Mooney fought for the cruiserweight title decades ago, and actually in the last round, both hit the deck.
And then Malik, that was Cottery. Was it Cotterington and Powell?
No, it was Powell and Bundridge.
Bundridge, yes.
Oh.
I knew it was a New York guy.
Wait, hold on.
Finally, guys, a week ago.
So wait, real quick, who won that? They both just
Former
got knocked out.
top
The one in the green.
cruiserweight Murat Gassiev.
Now, this was
knocked
a
out
beautiful
Kubrat
knockout.
Pulev in the 6th round. Gassiev's a puncher, guys, a cruiserweight puncher for sure, but it turns out a heavyweight puncher
Yes.
too. Now, I don't know if this is a reward or a punishment.
Beautiful. When he reaching,
That's a perfect left hook on the chin.
yes,
Leaping,
and he went downstairs a few times and made Pulev reach. Pulev
tell he
got
older,
knocked out
though.
again by that because he's a creature of a bad habit.
Yeah.
He always reached with his right hand. Vladimir Klitschko knocked him out the same way with the perfect left hook.
Now,
Right.
what he gets,
Joshua, too.
what he
was
gets for his efforts is a date with Moses Atama.
That's a great step up for Atama, though. Gassiev was a dangerous cruiserweight.
He was and obviously a dangerous
You should
heavyweight.
put Jake Paul there with him, guys. Cruiserweight was.
Jake
But he's
Paul.
heavyweight now.
Oh, see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
That does it for us. For Malik, the fake Malik, and Mike Coppinger.
Give me some more, Shady.
I'm Max
That's
Kellerman.
it, Shady.
Thanks for watching. Inside the Ring.
Mike, I'm getting fast, you know?